Many people count the EU's Iran policy as one of their successes, which is true because the EU is leading the P5+1 negotiations with Iran, and we're all hopeful that there will be a comprehensive deal soon. But the question for the EU is what comes next? And there one sees that the EU has fallen short. It doesn't have a plan whether there is an agreement or even for the case when there is no agreement. There is hardly any thinking within the EU of what the policy should be then. In terms of policy, the EU should look at the broader picture. It shouldn't look at Iran only as a country, as a difficult country, but it should look at the non-proliferation dimension. Why are we trying, with the help of the IAEA, with the help of international partners, to curb Iran's nuclear activities? What is the broader idea behind it, and how can one make this more binding for other countries as well, and not just single out Iran? Because that's the ultimate effort behind the EU's policies. And secondly, in terms of policy also, there is this human rights dimension which has been neglected to a part because of the negotiations, because one wants to have a success on the negotiations first. This will come up the minute after an agreement is there or not there. So the EU should also focus on this part. And in terms of institutions, the EU simply needs to be prepared. It needs to be set up a task force, ideally, where it brings together the various strands that it has, both the sanctions, the nuclear expertise, the economic parts, the human rights, because it is a big policy issue, and currently it has only this nuclear negotiation team, and it doesn't have a broader setup in terms of this task force. It's very important for the EU to work with the United States, to work with especially also Congress, because the domestic debate in the United States is very difficult around Iran. Even if there is an agreement, there are voices in Congress which make one believe that the US may not live up, or may not immediately live up to the promises that it has to make at the negotiation table. So it will be important for the EU to work with their American counterparts, so that be there an agreement or be there no agreement, that there is still unity among the transatlantic partners, and that's very important.